Well, hello everyone. I've been almost given 5 boxes of old retro stuff that I'm going to open with you guys today. The person who owned these was living in a house and they were moving to a smaller one, so they had to get rid of some of their old stuff. So basically what's inside the boxes, I don't know exactly. I think there's software, probably hardware, probably floppy disks, but it's not clear yet what exactly is inside, so I say it's almost a donation because I paid a very low price for it. I paid $100 for all of this, so it was not expensive. It's, as I say, it's almost given. So let's find out what's in this. So I'll start with the smaller ones. Here is the first one. From what I gathered, the person who owned this, in the past they worked in a computer store. I think they even owned one. And yeah, they kept a lot of memories and mementos and old stuff throughout the years. So let's find out what's inside this one. So this is the first box. What's inside? Lots and lots and lots of floppies. So a bunch of them. There's operating systems like this, MS-DOS. There's a couple of drivers, software. I think there's family stuff probably. Yeah. There's personal stuff also. So I'll keep those for later. I'll do a second video just for the floppies. Here's the second box. As you can see, it's a 3D effects box, probably used to order video cards, I'm guessing in the 90s. Oh nice. Yeah, I don't know if you can see that. This one contains software. So it's full of software. Can you see that? Yeah, you can. Alright, so we have an upgrade for Microsoft Windows from 3.0 or 2.x to, I'm guessing, 3.1. And it's not sealed, so we can open it. What's inside this? Wow, that's a big one. Ooh, I think it's complete even. Look at that glue. This is pretty old glue. So we have all the floppies inside. All the floppies are there. We have a unique license number. I don't mind posting it, honestly. I don't think anyone will register Windows 3.1 at this point. So yeah, I should be good. We have getting started manual and the user manual. That's it for Windows 3.1 upgrade. We have PC-DOS 6.3. It is a sealed copy. It is new. So I don't know if I'll ever open it, but this is really old stuff. It comes in 3.5-inch floppies. So yeah. So we have Windows and PC-DOS. We have a sealed copy of Lotus 123. I don't know much about this. I know it's old. People use this for accounting. We have a copy of WordPerfect. This one is for, I'm guessing, MS-DOS. Very old software. They came in binders. So how this works is like this. So you have a kind of cover and a binder. The binder has the user manual inside. So first thing you have is last minute notes, all the floppies, so 5.25 floppies. They're in the binder, so everything you need is in there. You have the installation manual. Everything, the complete user manual is in there. Because at the time there was no internet. You couldn't just go and look it up. You had to have everything inside the software or accompanying it. WordPerfect is a word processor. I'm guessing you knew. All right. We have a personal computer software library from IBM. I'm guessing this was a software suite. for personal computers. Same principle as WordPerfect earlier. It came in a binder. It told you how to install components, how to work with IBM computers. So when you bought a genuine IBM computer, it came with this complete binder, diagnostics floppies, and software floppies to help you work with your newly bought computer. So yeah, this is pretty old. There's no date on this, but I'm guessing this is from the 80s probably. We have another WordPerfect suite. This one is open also. You have all kinds of manuals. So documentation is pretty huge, honestly. It's very large. As I said earlier, there was no internet back then, so you couldn't search it online, so you had to have everything you needed in the box with the software. So it made everyone's lives easier like this. The little thing that fell off, it's something that you could add to your keyboard. I'm guessing it was shortcuts, so you placed it in certain keys that went here. It told you what the keys would do in the WordPerfect. Yeah, it came on a lot of floppies. They were original 5 1/4 floppies. And yeah, so a bunch of other stuff. We have a copy of Internet Explorer manual and a copy of Internet Explorer 4.0 commemorative edition, as it says here. But it's in the early days of Windows 95, so I'm guessing the person who owned this will be probably the last stuff I'm gonna find out in the 94-95 area. We have a copy, again, of Internet Explorer that works with Windows 95 and Mac OS. Same thing here. It's a reservation code. This was I'm guessing a pre-release copy of Internet Explorer. You needed a minimum of a 386 DX or higher processor. They recommended it 486. Windows 95 wouldn't run on Windows 3.1 or 3.0. 8 megabytes of RAM. Most people today have 8 gigabytes or more. 3 to 18 megabytes of hard disk space. CD-ROM drive and VGA or higher resolution. I'm guessing this was sent out to resellers before Windows 95 appeared, or before internet was really widespread. We have a copy of Microsoft Phone. I don't know what that does exactly. Microsoft Paintbrush on 2 floppies. Microsoft Mouse. So these are pretty old. This is from 1990, because at the time this didn't come bundled, it came separately. Microsoft Windows version 3.1, but they're very different from the ones I have. I don't recognize this logo. I've never seen this. So this is, yeah, this is pretty old stuff. Yeah, it came on 6 floppies. Windows 3.1, not for Workgroups. So yeah, this is done. Let's back this up and we'll be good to go again in a few minutes. Much bigger. This is a box from Elite Group, but I don't think I'm gonna find motherboards inside. Let's find out. So first thing I see is a 5 1/4 inch floppy drive. It was made in Japan. It's written right here. This is a pretty nice find. These are hard to come by, especially in a good state like this. So I can't wait to try it out, and we'll see if it works eventually. Maybe I'll do a video of me setting this up in my old computer. Boxes inside boxes. Again, full of floppies. I'm seeing drivers, personal stuff. Yeah, I'll do this one too in another video, like for the first one. Oh, cool. We have a bunch of cables for the floppy drives. These are super useful because they are hard to come by because of these connectors. This is the most recent type of connector. It's akin to the IDE. Today we call it parallel ATA or PATA. This is not exactly PATA, but it's this similar type of connector. This is what was used before. This was for floppy drives. You see this connector? This used this kind of connector. So yeah, it's slid in like this. And there you go. Like this. But the good thing is, even with these super old hard drives, they still use the standard Molex connectors that we use today. You don't need a special power supply. Your standard power supply can work with this, either AT or ADX. Both will work. Okay, we have a few CD-ROMs in here. We have a genuine copy of Windows 98, so this is pretty nice. I must say I never had a genuine copy of Windows between Windows 3.11 for Workgroups. I never bought 95, I never bought 98, I never bought 2000, I never bought Millennium, I never bought XP, but I finally bought Windows 7 because I had a job at that time and I felt I needed a correct license to work. So yeah, this is pretty fun to find a genuine copy of Windows 98 like this. We have Windows 95 full copy. It came with a new PC. I'll skip on the useless ones. Is this a copy or? Yeah, it's a copy. Dynacom accounting software. Again, we have a sealed copy of WordPerfect 8. It's an academic edition. I don't know if that's the correct word to use in English, but basically it's what they sell at a smaller price for schools, foundations that can't pay for the full price, so they sell it at a smaller price for these people. This one is for Windows 95 and Windows NT. Yeah, and it's completely sealed. Yeah. Alright, we have I mentioned earlier that I never bought Windows XP. Well, my sins are now absolved because I have a copy of Windows XP Professional, including Service Pack 1A, and I'm guessing it's new because it seems, yeah, it's never been opened, so it's pretty nice. Encyclopedia Universalis. I'm guessing it's kind of a Grolier or Encarta clone. I don't know if it's worth anything. I'll find out later. We have Microsoft Works. We have CD to help people start up with Windows 98. So yeah, that's it for the CD-ROM box. Inside the box. So what's in the box? Well, we have many more floppies, so I will not go into this today. There's too many of them.
There's too many of them.
Just in the bottom of the box, another box, and this one holds, wow, I've never actually seen from my own eyes a hard drive of that kind. I've always seen hard drives, 3.5-inch hard drives. I've never seen one like this. This is very old. I'm guessing it's very fragile. From what I read, this is 10 megabytes of memory. That's it, and that's all. It's very small compared to today's standards. This is going to be hard to install because at the time in the BIOS you had to set this up manually. You had to enter all your hard drive's information manually in order for it to work. And yeah, if it's not specified, I'm going to have a hard time finding them out. So I really don't know if I'm going to be able to do this. I think I'll make a separate video of my trials and errors. But yeah, this is an antique. This hard drive, this is old. This is very old. This is from the 80s. And yeah, this is very cool. I'm super happy to have this. went to the drive bays in your computer. So this was visible, and the hard drive light right here, it's directly on the hard drive. This is before the time when motherboards had these kind of things. The light went directly on the drive. Nice. So yeah, I'll pack this third box up and we'll look in the fourth one, see what we find. This one is heavy. Wow. Alright, so what do we have here? Alright, let's find out what is in this one. We have Norton Utilities from another time when the box wasn't completely yellow. Yeah, oh, look at this guy. This guy is happy to do his job. Yeah, this is awesome. Yeah, Norton, Mr. Norton. A copy of Windows for Workgroups 3.11. This is new and sealed. Has the official documents and the manual, the floppies, and everything is there. It's all sealed in the bag. I'm guessing these came from new PCs originally because there's no box. Yeah, this is pretty nice and this is pretty old. Okay, we have a manual for Windows 3.1 but not 3.11. Look at this. It's for Windows, not for Workgroups 3.1. This is 1 year earlier, in fact. Okay, this is for Macintosh, I'm guessing. We have FileMaker Pro 7. This works for Windows apparently. I would never have guessed. It works for Windows XP and Mac. But it's a very recent Mac, so I don't know why exactly this is in the box. Gem Graph. I'm guessing this was for MS-DOS. This came in a binder, as we saw earlier. This was for printing graphs for presentations or whatever, because at the time there was no Excel, there was no graph options in WordPerfect. You had to use a separate program to do this, so GemGraph was one of them. Funny to see here, this program supports specific printers: HP DeskJet with no number, Epson, and PC Olivetti. You had the floppies right here, you had the manuals. We have a genuine copy of Microsoft Windows for 386, so I'm guessing it's Windows 2.0. Beautiful graphics. I'm guessing those are probably EGA graphics, because EGA has a mode of 640 by 350 pixels, so I'm guessing this is EGA. You can see the beautiful presentations of what you can do if you're an artist with too much time on their hands, and other stuff you can do with Windows. But this is pretty awesome. This is very old, and I'm guessing it came in 5¼ inch floppies. Let's find out. From what I can see here, at the time it was priced $129 for a genuine copy of Windows 2.0. The license agreement is a kind of a small booklet. When you open it, you have these pages to read, and then you have a kind of a pouch where the floppies for Windows are stored. So Windows 2.11 came on 4 floppies. I'm wondering if they still work. I would have to try them out later on, but I'm really curious to see if this works still after almost 30 years, okay? I'm guessing they probably will have bad sectors and probably won't work. I'm curious to find out. Again, from the company Gem, desktop publisher. Don't know exactly what this means. I don't know. Making presentations, but probably printing them. Same as before, this came in a binder. That when you open, you have all the floppies. This one is a little bit more recent because it came on both type of floppies, 3.5 inch and 5¼ floppies. At a certain point, the beginning of the 90s, companies knew that the people were transitioning between large and smaller floppies. Instead of having two different boxes for each software, they made just one box with the two types of floppies inside. Games, for example, did this also. I remember playing King's Quest recently that had both type of floppies. And if you wanted another version of the floppies, you could just write them a letter, post it in snail mail. They would send you another new copy of the floppies. If you can see this, I'm guessing that this was stored incorrectly. It's either some water damage or dust. I hope the discs are not really damaged. Probably everything is okay because this was pretty much sealed. The top of the boxes is very dirty and grimy. Another software by Gem, Draw Plus. Came with binder, as with all the others. Very grimy top. This one came in 5¼ inch floppies only. So these have been opened and used. We have a manual for Windows 3.0. Getting started for Windows 3.1. Introduction to Windows 95 with the certificate. This one I won't show the number because it's still in use today by some people. A copy of Windows and a copy of MS-DOS. This is sealed with the certificate of authenticity. This could be probably sold on eBay right now. We have a manual here, a deployment planning guide for Windows 95 preview program. As I said earlier, this was sent to retailers that were currently selling Windows 3.1, and when Microsoft were transitioning to Windows 95, they sent these out to explain what Windows 95 was about, what was new, what were the new features, what was interesting, what was better, what was different. Why did they do this? Because they wanted to have the retailers on their side. They wanted the retailers to already start talking to customers about the future release of Windows 95. They didn't want to have stuff that was too new to the customers. They wanted the customers to be on board. So yeah, they thought this one really in advance, and it paid out because customer adoption for Windows 95 was very positive at the time. People embraced Windows 95. This careful planning probably paid out for Microsoft. Feature review, again, this is more detailed. This tells customers what they should expect to find out in Windows 95. This created a link of confidence, should I say, between the customers and Microsoft. Yeah, this was a good idea, I think. This is the manual from Windows and MS-DOS 6. From ASD Computer. Interesting thing is the mention of DoubleSpace. Microsoft has a history. I think they had copied or used code without telling the author. Very interesting. Our box is empty. Okay. It's a box of software again. Since the person who sold this to me was a reseller from Microsoft products, they gave me a Windows 95 t-shirt from the deployment with the tour dates, because Microsoft were really pushing the PR machine to have the customers and the retailers on their side. So they made tours. This one is a tour from Canada. They went from city to city to show off the new features of Windows 95 before it arrived in stores and people went in to buy it and scream and jump everywhere. So yeah, this is pretty cool, and this is pretty rare because these were not given to customers. These were given only to retailers and people who worked for the deployment of Windows 95. Really happy to have this. To the person who sold these boxes to me, thank you. I appreciate it really much. It's very nice of you of thinking to pass this down the line of enthusiasts. We have a copy of Windows. This is Windows 3.0. I like the art. Honestly, this art is nice. I have a copy of DOS from IBM. I'm guessing this is PC DOS 3.2. That came on 5¼ inch floppy disks. It is new, completely sealed. I will not open this up because it's pretty rare. It's very, very important to preserve this. If you have some copies, don't throw them away. Give them to enthusiasts, but keep them in the circle of people who know what this is actually. The next thing I have here is pretty rare also. A bunch of 8-inch floppy disks. I've never seen a floppy drive for 8-inch disks like those. This is super large. They're bigger than my hands, okay? I'll go grab a 5¼ inch just to show you. So you have 8-inch, 5¼ and 3.5. These were super large, okay, compared to what I used when I was young was 5¼ and 3.5, but I've never even seen floppies like these. I heard of them, I read of them, but I've never seen actually. I don't know if there is data on these, and I will probably never find out simply because there are no 8-inch floppy readers out there. If one of you has one and wants to lend one to me so I can read if there's any data on this, I'd be super grateful. Let me know in the comments. I appreciate it. I have a total of 9 8-inch floppies that I will keep because they're super rare, especially in this state. They're not broken, they're in a well-preserved state. At the time, floppies were always exposed. What I mean by that is that the writable and readable section of a floppy was always exposed, so they came in paper pouches. The 8-inch floppies were like this, the 5¼ floppies like this. But this was a problem because just people left their floppies on their desks, on their counters, everywhere without the pouches, and their data was becoming corrupt. So they fixed the problem by adding this thing here. It's a metallic protector. When you put the floppy in the drive, it opens up and it reads. Apart from that, the floppy is closed, you can touch it, you can do anything with it, you won't corrupt the data. So this was a very good invention, but I'm wondering how much adding this has cost. This was probably very expensive, a change to have on floppies at the time. This is pretty old again, and it's in pretty good shape considering the age of this thing. How to install, the cabling, everything. You have images that describe what to do with your PC, how to install it. At the time, IBM PCs were all the same shape and the screws were all at the same place. Each computer was an exact copy of the others. This had the advantage of being easier to repair and easier to understand. Exploring the IBM personal computer, so this is a software I'm guessing to teach you how to use your PC. Last but not least, here's what was making this box so heavy. Old computer magazines from the 80s and 90s. These are, I'll have an overview though, okay? These ones are from 92, 93, and it's looking at 17-inch monitors, with at the time were super big. This was what laptops looked like in the 90s. This is from 92. That gives me an idea of what's in there. Probably a lot of articles on sound cards, video cards, and games from the 90s. So if I find something interesting, I'll let you guys know. In the meantime, thanks for watching. I appreciate you taking the time to leave comments. If you think I messed up on some information, I'm not an expert, I'm just an enthusiast. If you want, you can correct me. You can tell me to look deeper into some of the stuff that I took out of boxes today. I'm open to any kind of ideas you guys might have, so thank you.